Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm still waiting for my co-panelist to join me in the live stream. Waiting for Mr. Miguda, and also waiting for Makobura Joseph and Musimamo, so that we can have conversation today. Natumai tena naamini kwamba mko vizuri jioni la leo. Najua kuna mengi ambayo tunataka kuzungumzia leo, na venye nilisema hapo awali kwamba bado nasubiri wale wenzangu ili wakuje tukuwe na majadiliano ya leo. Kwa wale ambao wanatutazama na wale ambao watakuja kututazama baada ya kipindi, ningependa pia kuchukua fursa hii kuwashukuru sana kwa muda wenyu ambao mtachukua. Kabla tujaingia kwa mada ya leo, tunaweza kwenda tukuambie tu zile habari ambazo zimechukua kipaumbele katika kwa saizi. Unajua kwamba kuna matokeo ilitokea ya wale watainiwa ambao walifanya KCSE 2025 results. And this is what is in the headline. Kenya's 2025 KCSE results show more university qualifiers amid equity concerned. Inasemekana kwamba kuna idadi ya wanafunzi wengi ambao watajiunga na chuo kikuu, lakini kumbuka hali ya kufadhili ama hali ambayo inatumika kuwasaidia pale, pesa ambayo inatolewa kwa serikali, labda tujue sijui itakuwaje. Ndasoma hii Kenyans 2025 KCSE exam saw 993,226 candidates, with girls outnumbering boys for the first time at 501,114 to 492 and 19. Education Secretary Julius Migos Ogemba released the results showing 270,715 students, that is 27%, achieving C+ or above for direct university entry, up from last year 246,391 university entrants, up from last year that including 1,932 straight A's performance, while national schools dominated top grades over a third scored D or below, promoting debates on elitism, tribalism, and calls for local quotas to top institution that President William Ruto dismissed. So that is the ministry. Let's see what Bonnie Alwale says. Dr. Bonnie, as they say, if you want to kill a dog, start by giving it a bad name. Listening to Rigathi with sobriety, he actually raised a valid and not a tribal point. I strongly believe national schools should reserve 30% admissions loss to the students from local communities. As for the use of NCDF by MPs and for extension devolved funds by governors from the former Northern Frontier districts, let us not sugarcoat anything. These leaders are the problem, period. Look at this Kotulo Model Girls Secondary School in Mandera. And you know, this is a conversation yesterday we had, especially concerning about what Rigathi Gachagua said when they were in the funeral, concerning about the placement of students, whereby the quite majority of students, especially, you know, the way he was reasoning, and Bonnie Alwale too is raising these issues, because like all these members of parliament or this region, they usually get this money. But if you look at a secondary school that Bonnie Alwale has shared here, and this is a national school, a national schools, Kotulo Model Girls Secondary School in Mandera County. Maybe somebody can go to the Google and check that. So this is what Rigathi Gachagua was talking about, and Bonnie Alwale says that we should not sugarcoat this. Let's have a conversation that that really puts the leaders at the frontier district coming from this area so that they can at least show what they're using the CDF money. So that is another thing that I'm also seeing here. The online has been dominated by the performance with quite a number of students. We are impressed that out of 900, yeah, this is what President William Ruto has said. Let me see. The truth is, this is Ledamo Lekina. The truth is, Kenyan obsession with top schools is misplaced. Our glorified national schools are relic that fuels elitism, tribalism, and equality. While parents fight for sports at Alliance or Mangu, most children are left in underfunded schools that barely functions. Every county deserves schools just as good. But until we scrap the national schools mindset and focus on fair funding, quality teaching, and equality, we'll keep pretending few success stories mean the system works. It doesn't, not for most Kenyans' children. So that is something that Oledama Olekina is raising. But like, even if we do away with that, we are looking at the infrastructures of the school. Who is responsible for the infrastructure of the school, especially when we are talking about national schools? There's a reason why these schools were given nationals. Even he might know wherever he is, he would like his closest family friends, or even if he have a child, he would like to go to national schools. And that's why you find the majority of the leaders that we have, what they do with their kids are taken to schools that are international schools. Some of the leaders actually that are talking, if you look at their background well, their children do not attend public schools. They attend these international schools. Then from there, they go for further studies outside the country. They never go through our educational system. But like when it comes to public, they will be very, very, very come and give us lectures on what we should do. And if we are talking about even funding, let us make it equal so that we have a very good infrastructure of the school. Miguda, how are you doing?
I'm good, bro. Can you hear me? I'm
Yes.
doing good.
Mm-hmm.
I also received the news. I was a bit out today. I
Yeah.
was outdoors, so I've never got access to more information. I've just
Yeah.
heard from the people or where I was. I was on a certain funeral, so I have not got a time to get what I've just heard that exam has been released, but I've never get any information right now.
Yeah. Okay. The information is that the KCSE result has been released, and from the education department, it seems that we are going to have good number of students that are going to join campus this year. And from the look of things, this is what next CEO David Njege, a total of 993 226 candidates sat for the election examination in 10,765 secondary school. And there's a lot of quite number of the students will be joining campuses, a lot of them. So we have now to look at the funding model and how the government is going to deal with that. But if you look at the population that is joining, that have performed well, this is quite a big um, big number as compared to last year. And as you know, also Boni Alwale, every time Boni Alwale, Boni Alwale, every time Kenyans do these exams or have these exams, at least Alwale lazima kuwe na mtoto, na naona pia amepost hapa. So Alwale, Boni Alwale, somebody is patiently waiting for Boni Alwale, Senator Boni Alwale annual update of his sons and daughters. Saizi ndio huwa Boni Alwale huwa anatupatia update, na hapo Alwale hajakosea. Alwale amesema hapa, as my daughter Melissa Hamwinyi Alwale shines all the way to the university, I want to thank the St. Bridget High School Kiminini fraternity and my family for support they bestowed to Lisa in her studies, and above all, I thank God for the gift of my little girl, that is Bonnie Alwale. Update ndio hiyo. Hello Miguda, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, I've got you. It's quite interesting when people, and also on my way, I found some people celebrating. They were out with their buses. Some schools were celebrating, and it's quite interesting when many people actually proceed for their further studies. It's very much important that at least you have something at hand. You can use it for skills. You can use it for experience.
Yeah.
Earn a little, and also currently it is very competitive, and it's very quite important for someone to update, and that is very much we appreciate and congratulate all the people who passed and the people also who never made to university. You know, not that everybody can make it to university. Even the people, there are some will go for TVET, some will go for colleges, and even some will go parallel. Not that you can use other means from certificate, diploma, you do your degree, and God will bless you. So we wish everybody who actually did exams congratulations for
Yeah.
a good job, and also we wish them all the best as they endeavor their future experience and their future expectations. So that's all I can say from the result which has been released.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Miguda, for that. And yeah, everyone, those who sat for examination and the results are here, so we wish them well. Okay, thank you so much, Miguda. Again, Miguda, maybe do you have anything from your side that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Okay. I was trying to get my updates before I get to studio. I found that Ruto was in Nakuru, and I saw a young person. I don't know, someone who is disabled, confronting him face on face that you need to stop corruption. So I
Yeah.
don't know, he was the face of corruption. You need to just tell him that you are the corrupt person. So people laughed. People laughed at that young person. Then is how they took away Mike from him. But actually, Ruto tolerated him and allowed him to express his opinion, like he was appealing for four issues. So I saw it as a trend, and he said that there are some people who are actually paka mafuta president, but they don't want to tell him the reality. The reality is that many youths are suffering. Many youths don't have money, but people are just lying to him that because there's Nyota, there's Hustler Fund, they clap for him, but deep down, that's not enough.
Okay. Unajua kwa kweli Miguda, unajua kuna watu wengine huwa wameumbwa na ujasiri kwamba wanaweza kuwa na ujasiri waende pale na waseme mambo ambayo watu wengi huwa hawawezi. Boas Mangwana, asante sana. Florence Anyango, asante sana. Na ndugu yetu Msimamo pia naona yupo hapa. Labda kama bado sijaendelea, wacha nimpatie nafasi hii asalimie wale ambao wanatutazama. Ndugu yangu, vipi?
Samahani.
Kohozi bwana, unakula nini?
Vumbi bwana kidogo, najua tutoka hapo kwenda mihangaiko, alafu najua maana mbabuze huku. Ndio maana umenitafuta saa hizo, lakini sikuweza kupatikana, ila kubwa pokea zangu.
Asante.
Hapo naya pokea zangu, wale wanatufuatilia pande wa pili wapokee zangu. Siku imetwendea, shukuru Mungu maana tuko hapa. Ngawaje Nkwali saa tu. Hapa Nkwali saa tunatimia na jana.
Okay, asante sana. Naona pia ndugu yetu Boas Wangwana anatusalimia. Tasema Boas, tuko salama na tuko buheri wa afya, labda kuliko wewe. Hebu tuambie nini kinaendelea pale ulipo, labda jambo ambalo uko pia nayo hapo. Habari, kama uko na habari kemkem ambayo unaweza katujuza, sisi tutafurahia, kwa sababu tuko hapa kwa sababu ya hiyo, na pia tuko hapa kwa sababu yako. Tulikuwa tunazungumza, lakini wacha niwarudishe nyuma kidogo. Kuna wakati baba alikuwepo na mtoto wake, na unajua watoto ni watu ambao ni watu wa vituko sana. So kuna wakati baba alikuwa na mtoto wake, na mtoto akawa ni mtu ambaye hakukuwa amependa kubeba kuvaa chupi yani. Siku moja baba kaongea naye, akamwambia, wewe mtoto wangu bana, inafaa ukuwe na heshima, onyesha watu heshima bana. Sasa kuna wakati wageni walikuja kumtembelea baba. Baba akaambia mtoto, bana, lazima uonyeshe wageni heshima, lakini unajua ile ambao unaambia mtoto. Sasa mtoto akaonyesha heshima. Ndio nakwambia saa zingine inafaa tumakinike kwa yale ambao tunasema pale popote tupo, na vitu ambavyo tunaambia watoto wetu. Naona hapa ni okay, it is me Shaima using another phone. My question is, what do I analyze on Mama Ida vote of thanks? Was she sending a message? No, not that name was just Adiko. Tumeongelea hiyo. He was sending a signal message, because like everything in politics, they are done to fulfill or to suggest or to give you a direction. So, and remember, after that, there was a meeting that was held between James Orengo and the likes of Babu Owino, and also Junet Mohammed went to Oburu Odinga and knelt in the office. I saw that picture going around. So that is something that is there, and I will talk to you because I have your number. Makobura shared your number with me, so that's okay. So thank you so much. That was just by the way. Gentlemen, the discussion of today is why ODM will fall sooner than we think, and the reason why I'm believing that ODM will fall, not fall that it's not going to be in existence, but how weak ODM will be. Because remember, yesterday, somebody like Kostosi was complaining that as they continue to fight amongst themselves, the UDA is on a program, or is on the road solidifying their bases in Western Kenya. As you know, Western Kenya has always been, if you look at the counties, Western Kenyans have always been the like the base of the ODM and the big supporter of the late Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. So when they are still having infights and wrangles amongst themselves, the UDA is consolidating. And I think in the few weeks, they will start having their grassroots election, and this one weakens ODM because they are so much on supporting the government and forgetting about few of them, and forgetting about solidifying, even working on the mechanisms on what they should do. So we will talk about that. The secondly, that we also talk about, especially I'm looking at the leadership. To me, up to now, I still believe beyond reasonable doubt that I don't think that the youth leader, Oburu Odinga, will manage the ODM. Yeah, the reason why I think youth leader will not manage the ODM, when you look at his political career, I don't think that whether Oburu has his own commanding crowd, because Oburu leadership is anchored on Raila, one, because Raila was a brother. But there's nothing that I would say that this is the reason why Oburu can have that commanding or make a statement that so many people will follow as the party leaders. That is one. Secondly, again, on the young Turks, who are the likes of Babu Owino and Sifuna, because if they're not given a chance and they're going to fight with the altar, it will break into two. And that one, what does that one mean? That one will mean that there's a majority of them that will go with people like Sifuna. There's a majority of them that will go with the wing of Wanga, especially those who are supporting the broad-based government. At the end of the day, that one is going to make ODM weak. Another thing, so that those are two questions. We're talking about the consolidation of the party. They're not consolidating, they're fighting off positions. While they're not thinking about consolidating, that is going to make them fail. We've talked about also the leadership of Oburu Odinga. How influential or how impactful is the leadership of Oburu Odinga to ODM? Two, there's also the fight of inheriting the fan base, the diehard of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. With all these leaders, everybody who wants to move, because it is that everybody wants to have those followers. If you listen to what Gaujo is saying, he also say that, talking about people from Luo Nyanza, and he's advising the president, these people are brokers. No, go directly to the people. They will, if you listen to these brokers, they will not listen to you. So that is also something that we are going to talk about, Miguda. The support base of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, whereby people are fighting for that. Then let's talk about the Raila and the ODM, because the people who've also have argued that ODM was Raila and Raila was ODM. So without Raila, there is no ODM. And that's why there are people who did not believe in the ideology of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, but they believed in his umbrella, the wing that he had, that you can survive under his wings, provided that you could say that, okay, I'm supporting Raila Odinga, but they did not believe on what do ODM stands for. So that is a conversation that we are going to have today. Also, I was following up on an interview that was held by Eli Kretif and Marco Ure, and I heard him. He said that he doesn't have any problem with anybody, the leadership, but he has a problem with Edwin Sifuna. So Sifuna is the target. So when will this one end? Thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. So maybe let's start with let me see sorry, Miguda, let me just read what is Kasongo saying about these wrangles in ODM. I think he said he won't let ODM split. Now, it's working for his advantage. Now, what do you want him to say? Because the more they have these infights, the weaker they become. Is getting that opportunity, because like politics is all about opportunity. Anytime you see where there's a weakness, the more ODM is divided, the more powerful the president, especially the UDA, will be gaining traction, because so many people will decide to go with the UDA, and that one will be advantageous to the president, because who does not want quite number of members of parliament, and his always goal is to make UDA a very strong party. And Miguda, maybe before I forget about the lifeline of especially the political parties, if their face value, the people who represent their face value, get out of the picture, their survival is usually very minimal. You look at that, what happened with KANU. KANU went until today. KANU is not a political party that you cannot command, cannot command, let's say, population. Like the people who were elected in KANU, I don't think they were elected in KANU because KANU was the favorite party, but they were elected because of their track records. That is what I believe. So when you look at even ODM, what is the ODM lifeline without the picture of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga? So, Miguda, those are the things that we are going to talk about.
Okay, those things are very fundamental right now. You understand that there is wrangles in the party, and it's only ODM, and the fact that Raila Odinga is no more. People have concentrated in ODM and its future. You find out that there are so many things that have happened before. Co-accusation from the ODM within, people co-accusing each other, and even you have cited the young man having a problem with the current SG, and even it's just extended an olive branch for the people. Those are interesting time because there can't be a smoke where there's no fire. It means there's something happening somewhere. And to bring it to closure, the reason why it's sometimes very difficult is because even when they gave Oburu Odinga 10% among the presidential candidates, Oburu was given 10% by Infotrack. I tend to disagree because Oburu Odinga has never even uttered that he want to become president since he was born. He has always he has never even have a support base. That this base is Oburu's base. Kalonzo has been having a base, but now Oburu was ahead of Kalonzo. Kalonzo was given 4%. So you wonder, since when did Oburu become 10%? And Oburu has always been close to Raila. You know, Raila factor is quite different. It was him. Even if the father or the son can't be closer to where he was. Remember, even people are saying he outshined the father, Jaramogi. Even the Jaramogi was never given that befitting send off that was given to the son. So people are unique and people tend to have different existent as per the nature dictates. Therefore, the fact that you are a politician doesn't make your brother super politician. If you're a mobilizer, doesn't make your brother a strong mobilizer. People are gifted differently, and what you can do is not what I can do. And Oburu, even at that stage, you find that Oburu is age is not on his side. You know, when someone like Raila had passed away, there was that urge that it was the young people to take over. Like what happened when Jaramogi passed away, Raila was a bit not old, so he took off from the father as a young person in that time. So it's always nature of order that when old people goes, it is the young people who take over. But now this one is contrary with that an old person has just left us, then an old person has just replaced. What's the future of the young people? What's the future of the younger generation? That's why there must be some rankles. So I don't think Oburu was the proper person. Of course, they are saying right now he was the best, but now things are coming out very clearly that he was never the better person to replace the brother, because we have had people who have been mentored, we have had people who have been in that journey, and that's what is causing rankles even with the people like Koura and Sifuna. But Koura and Sifuna, those are just small words because I don't understand that. I don't think that Koure can match Sifuna. That is far fetched. Before that one happened, you understand that there was this lot that Koure was made to mark Babu. He was being given Babu. And after they realized that he cannot match Babu, now they have switched to Sifuna. He cannot match Sifuna. Those are people who have been there for a quite long time. There are people who have support base. If Sifuna speaks for a certain constituency. When Babu speaks for a certain constituency. Sifuna has been there and a commanding base, and there are some sacrifices they have made. They have been confronting the head of state head on, and they have also pointing some uh, corruptions, allegations. So these are people who have come far, and you cannot compete them with the younger person. So I think the young person need to take time before engaging that war.
Okay, I know there's quite a number that I spoke about, and we will discuss them. And let's start with the leadership of Oburu Odinga. You know, when you look at the leadership of Oburu Odinga and how things are happening in ODM, do you think Oburu has can call to order what is happening in ODM and bring that unity amongst the ODM, especially when you look people like Babu Owino who say that we want NDC so that we can elect those leaders that we want. And you remember Eddie also said that bring that NDC, So this is happening under the watch of Oburu Odinga, And when you look also at his age, do you think he can handle this? Because it will get messy. Because one of the things that will make ODM to fall, despite the fact that they're talking about the party hierarchy and all that, those party hierarchy, if there are no good leadership or there are people who can listen to divergent views, who think that the decisions that they've taken, either those who are supporting the government or those who are not supporting the government, if they stand their ground and feel that what we've taken, this is the right way, and it calls upon the leadership of Oburu, because is the somebody who is heading that party, to say that, okay, let's come together and talk. Do you think he has that the way Raila would do it?
That's what I'm saying. They're quite different two people here we are discussing.
Yeah.
Raila and Oburu. Quite different two people. Someone from his childhood has never had even time to engage people or put people together or consult. He has been just been elected, nominated, buying time. But age has just catch up with him. You remember, right now a young person can be trained and become better, but an old person, there's not that time for training. So that's someone who has lived soft life for the entire of his life. Then really someone who has been in the trenches of struggling, like he has been in prisons, he has been tear gas, he has faced it all, I can say. He has been exiled, detained without trial. So you find that Raila was hardened. Someone and someone Raila could even convene meetings, many meetings. But Oburu, this is what I'm saying. Oburu, for how long will he call people? Because the other time he calls Sifuna, he calls Junet. Why can't he bring people together and convene a national NDC, to speak so that we can see his power? But you are calling individual, then tomorrow if Sifuna and Junet attack each other, you will call them again. The other time he calls Babu, he calls Babu. He keeps on calling people one by one. I think it's high time Oburu should stamp authority. But there's also these what we call ambitions. Some people want to be governor, some people want to be president, some people want to be, but you are blocking them as old guards. So sometimes it cannot work because many people were loyal to Raila, and many people maybe join ODM because of Raila, and many people love Raila from the heart, but Raila is no more. Oburu cannot be Raila because maybe passion for Raila is never passion for Oburu. Passion for Raila is passion for another person. So I think loyalty cannot be transferred just like that because you are the father or the brother to Jesus Christ. It cannot happen. People are following Jesus Christ. People don't follow John. So what I'm trying to say is that when it comes to the issue of the party, I don't think Oburu has that capacity to run that party effectively the way Raila was running it. It's quite different.
All right, thank you so much. You brought about something to do with the loyalty and to the party, which majority of Raila Odinga supporters are always very loyal to the Right Honorable Prime Minister, because you look at the journey of the Right Honorable Prime Minister in his political life, from Ford Kenya to LDP to SDP to KANU to all that until ODM, and the parties that maybe Raila has been in the leadership in those particular parties, and he left with his supporters, the people who are very diehard supporter of him. Now, this question of the ODM that people are fighting for, that we were left in government, we were not left in government, we're not going to join this government, and Raila is the person who had all these people. And that's why you look at what happened when he came from India, when his body was repatriated from India. Nobody was able to control the crowds at JKIA, because like the only person whom they understood his language, the only person whom they could listen to in that kind of like chaotic scenario is the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. They tried all of this, and they even bring Wanga to come and talk to people, but people would not listen because the person was who could calm that crowd, who could have a way of talking to that crowd and they understand, was no more. Now, now they are fighting for it. Now they are fighting for it. Now tell me, what is ODM without Raila, and what is OD? What is and what is ODM without Raila? When you look at now with all what is happening.
ODM without Raila, first, there's freedom because Raila used to carry out some activities as a leader without sometimes the issue of certificates, even the issue of disciplinary. He used to take actions by himself. And also, there were people who could be the inner circle. They could take advantage. The fact that they are closer to Raila Odinga.
Yeah.
Now they could sometimes mistreat their colleagues or mistreat their fellow lawmakers. You know, when we are all MPs, the fact that you are not superior than me. All of us are state officers. But the fact that you are close to Raila, this is how you are mistreating me. When it comes to the issue of committees,
Yeah.
I'm not being given any committee because of my divergent views. Even the way the Otinda Molo was removed from Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, because the people were in a circle of Raila. Otinda Molo is competent, but the fact that he disagree on the constitutional amendment, now it's being removed from that seat. So those are things that I'm saying. People have gotten freedom because right now there's no Raila you can run to. The people who are not strong leaders, the people who are never tough, they used to run to Raila and cry that you see ABC. But right now, you cannot run to Rahim, he's normal. Go to the people. It's the people who listen to you, not Raila. Raila could listen to you, even if you are unpopular. Then after giving certificate, you will be elected. But right now, if you don't have the good rapport with the people, there's no Raila will come to carry your hand. There's no Raila will appeal to the people to vote for you. You must appeal by yourself. So those are the things I'm saying. ODM without Raila, I'm seeing a certain freedom. And also I'm seeing whereby people are now expressing their views without any fear. Because sometimes if you could have dared to express your view, you will hear disciplinary committee, you are being taken through disciplinary committee process, so on and so forth. So right now, I think the people are at liberty, and that's how democracy also developed with time. Because in democracy, we are not building what we call monarchy, or we are not building what we call. It's not more of a monarchical system. It is whereby at one point in life, a leader must exit the stage and new leaders must emerge. So, by natural occurrences that he passed away, there's that space that allowed natural existence of new leaders. That's what we call democracy. So, in terms of democracy, I believe that it is developing because we can't have somebody for eternity. We need to revolve the leadership of the country. And that was also applied to Raila Odinga alone. Remember, even there are people who are not the members of ODM who used to go to parliament because of attacking Raila. Now Raila is no more. You must explain to your people why are you interested to become MP, because
Yeah.
you don't have someone to abuse. So I think in terms of accountability and also in terms of putting leaders to task, it has worked effectively. But lastly, also I'm seeing a scenario whereby ODM without Raila cannot stand. It is only he who could make all those function to work. But now without him, people must separate because there are people who pay their allegiance to him, and there are people who genuinely never loved him. It was about because They just wanted to be in power. Now they are doing things just to please him for the sake, but deep down they are in politics for their own interests. They are in politics for their own self-interest, but not even for Raila Odinga. So, but the fact that right now it's not in the act, they are now following their interest. They are no longer following what Raila could have told them.
All right, thank you so much. I can see my good friend Joseph is here with us. Joseph, how are you doing and how is your Friday?
Thank you, Brother Benson, and good. And I can see Msimamo has joined us. I want to greet you this evening. I've been doing fine, quite well. I've been checking right now. I've been checking at Kiharu constituency. You know, I am always a friend of Didi Nyoro, and I can see he has put CCTV in a school. People are telling him he's overdoing now. I think already we have reached to.
Where sasa where unachoma bwana?
He has put CCTV and he has given them cookers and fridge in a school, and he's saying he's overdoing. Nimeona pia wanasema ana overdo sasa, kwa sababu mambo ikifika hapo shule mnapatiwa mpaka CCTV. I think
alafu kaambia huyo mtoto aende kwa shule yenye haijajengwa vizuri.
Hapana, by the way, that one is something that needs to be discussed because it is a very serious matter. It is not a very, even if you like Kalshago or you hate him, that one is an issue that needs to be addressed. Because we cannot be having leaders being given money equally, but in other places you are finding that the projects are not being done, and you are being given a lot of money in your county. You know the reason we came with Majimbo. Majimbo was supposed to equalize everybody in Kenya. So when you're given the kind of share you're given, and most of many of the counties, I was seeing a statistic which was being done, they have been shown that they are being given even almost to 12.2 billion. From even that Muranga County, you're hearing they are doing, they are building their schools and what have you. So it is a wake-up call. It might be you're looking at Gachagua, just look at it out of politics. If you look at it out of politics, you will understand that Kenya is at a crossroad with these leaders. The leaders need to work. And if they're not going to work, people need to put them in check. Whether it is Gachagua we say, whether it is Joho, whether it is Wandai, whether it is who. I welcome any thought of people discussing now development and infrastructure in certain counties. That one is a topic I like so much discussing on.
Thank you so much, Joseph. And that was our opening statement. Especially, we were saying, let us depart from politics and talk about the real issues and accountability, because some of these schools, especially, they get funding. If not, they get funding. There's a money that is coming from the CDF, and majority of the times, what are you doing? Because you go somewhere. We just there's a school that Bonnie Alwale actually posted. I looked at his post. Mguda, what was the name? Mutolo what? And people are coming out to even to post like the number of share the okay, this is the school. If you look at the school, and I told people to go to the social media and check about it, and this is what Bonnie Alwale wrote. I would read it for the second time. Dr. Bonnie Alwale, I quote, "As they say, if you want to kill a dog, start by giving it a bad name." Listening to at Rigathi with sobriety, he actually raised a valid and not tribal point. I strongly believe national schools should reserve 30% admission slots to students from local communities. That is one. As for the use of NGCDF by MPs and by extension developed funds by the governors from the former northern frontier districts, let us not sugarcoat anything. These leaders are the problem, period. Look at this Katolo model girls school. Katolo Girls Secondary School in Mandera County. When you look at the school, the iron sheets are zimeuliwa sana na rust. The walls are I think I don't know whether this sijua hii ni cut machine yao ama hii ni nini, mud wall. Alafu unapata majority of those leaders from those areas they enjoy wako tu Nairobi. When an issue like this is raised, they will call those pressers, and bring some issues that are not understandable. So people say that let's have a conversation in this. It's not only in this.
You know, Brother Benson, as you have talked about, Kalwal is talking about 30%. I think 60% of people from the local region should be taken in. The students should be taken in. You know why? One thing I also even want to differ from all the things that they have been saying about development and anything. You have seen high school strikes. You've always seen the high school strikes which happen. And there was one, even the students even went to cook in teachers' quarters and what have you. You saw the kind of scenarios that were there. I think if you have schools that have absorbed 60% of the people from the community, it will be very easy to crack down on cases of unrest in schools, because when you have 60% and those people are coming from that certain community or that certain region, you will be able to call the parents, and the parents are going to put the kids in order, and they are going to be able to put the school in order, because it means even the people who are staying around the school, they are more so guardians and parents of the kids who are in school in those institutions. And it can be able to crack down. But if you have now a certain person who has been taken from Mount Kenya, or let's say from Nyeri, he has been taken to school in Kakamega, and then you have those scenarios of unrest in schools, you cannot even be able to handle them well, because most of them you don't know them. But if we have a scenario where we have people coming from I don't say it is bad for people to venture into other communities and have their kids being taken in as part of the school. But what happens is, when will we ever grow certain areas? Because we always talk about alliance. We always talk about other schools like Starehe. We talk about Mangu. Those are the schools we always talk about. Where are they? Where are they? They're in Kiambu mostly. And when you see schools in Kiambu, I really tend to wonder, why don't we have another kind of alliance, which we have alliance in Kisumu, alliance in Mandera, we have another Starehe in Coast, we have another Starehe in Mandera. It will be very easy even for the people, even the community itself. You'll be able to teach your kids according to the nature of the community which is around them. It is very healthy also. But I think even in certain countries, I think Brother Benson, even you can be a witness to this, that in certain countries, when you are called according to the region that you are and the place that you are more so, and you go to schools. Mostly this is happening in primary schools and high schools. You know, for university, you cannot settle. University, you need to go to different areas so that you can be able even get maybe some internship in other places which have work maybe for you to do. But for these institutions, I was hoping that people should start now having this conversation. It's not all about even institutions. It's all about this coming now close to how are we treating our infrastructure in these regions? Is it well? Are they doing the infrastructure as well? Are they bringing, like, for example, we have been having a good program which is called Gulana Kulala, which has been bringing food to the Kenyan basket. So I always wonder to myself, why don't we have those kind of drilling of water in large scale with the money that is being given, so that we can be able to do farming in certain places where you see the land is mostly scarce, that we can be able to do farming in those kind of areas. And we can be, when you start farming, to come with industries, and roads were view, and now even buildings are going to crop up. But if you are going to measure our money in mostly urban areas, it does not help the other counties, as we are saying that to Komajim.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Joseph, for that explanation. And maybe in brief, before I invite Musimamo in, we were looking at the fall of ODM, and it is not a matter of if, but it is when, because from the look of things, and we were looking at the person that is in the helm of the leadership. We are now talking about Oburu Odinga, the youth leader, and how the wrangles are deepening. And from clear, all indication, we know that there are two factions, and even the ODM base, especially the voters of ODM, or those who are good supporters of ODM, they've drawn the lines. You can see this from the internet. You can see this from how they talk. You can see this from how it is. And you're looking at Oburu Odinga, the leadership of ODM, is the person that is in charge to find a way to harmonize everything that is happening so that ODM can speak with that language, or ODM can have that outlook that people always know it for. When you look at it keenly, Oburu Odinga, do you think he is one person that can command and say that, okay, we do not want to say this, let's come here and reason together and treat all the factions with neutrality, you know?
Is it me? My turn? Yes.
Yes.
So
Just be brief, then Mamoto will come in.
yes. So what I'll say about Oburu Odinga, it is good. Now we are seeing now the kind of factions that now are going to be in ODM, even as they are waiting for the NDC, because the NDC need to be called. And I know Oburu is going to call for the NDC because he's the party leader as of now. Nobody can try to say no, he's not the party leader, because even the people who are against the other faction, we saw in a photo where we saw Sifuna and Babu. Those are the scenes that people want to see, where ODM is trying to call themselves to order. And I think also they are trying. Oburu is trying his best to be able to keep the party in check. And I think when the NDC will be called is where now they will be having a place where they can sit down and see if they can be able to resolve everything that is pending, because it's clearly showing that people have a very different view in that party. So there is people who are in support of the government fully, and there is people who are still saying, no, we cannot support the government till we have a better decorum and we have a better negotiation of how we are going to enter it as 2027. There is certain people like Akina Sifuna who have said they never support the broad base and they never support the government in 2027. What they'll do is better they bring a candidate. So these are things which are going to yet to be seen, because also with the likes of Akina Babu, they are saying that leadership within the young people is being let down. They are not being given a chance to be able to hear their voices. But what I had said here before, I think mimi waga ninaona mambo kwa sababu I had said Mimpin is always very strong, and she has a say in ODM, even as you see, as they were marking Raila at 81. She still has a say in ODM, as other people have a say. And it needs to be heard also, because even Orengo, I think Orengo has taken a turn. If you see, Orengo was in that meeting, but have you seen Orengo in other meetings that have been called for? The last meeting we saw Orengo was the one in Mombasa. And also, the BBG team was trying to control the narrative, so even he was not able to talk at that, and even if he talked, it was not a favorable spot for him. So I think if they want, they ionize the issues, but this one they need the talk as them themselves, and not allow outside influence to be able to divide the ODM party. But if they are going to allow the influence from outside to divide them, whether it is Ruto or Uhuru Kenyatta, whatever the text is, that party will be headed into oblivion. I'm telling you, it will dismantle, and I don't see it coming back if they are going to continue with the same infighting.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph, for your insight, especially when you look at the Oburu Odinga and the skills on how to contain what is happening in the party. Because the reason why I'm saying that, even after meeting Edwin Sifuna and Junet Mohammed, we still see some quarters, especially the likes of Makuure. Today was having an interview, and he went after Sifuna, and he said that Sifuna should reform or vacate that position. So it tells you that it is not over until it is over. Maybe msimamo, wewe maoni yako ni gani? Ukiangalia baba yetu, ama tuseme kwamba kijana Oburu Odinga na ambaye saizi ni mtu ambaye ameshika usukani wa chama cha ODM, na unaona haya malumbano yakifanyika na watu wanarushiana macheche, lakini unadhani kwamba yeye atakuwa ni mtu ambaye atatoa amri na kuelekeza kusema kwamba kuanzia leo hii sitaki kusikia mtu akisema hivi, sitaki mtu akisema hivi, hebu tukuje tuzungumze ili tuhakikishe kwamba chama chetu kimebaki imara? Unadhani hakuna hiyo nguvu, yani tuseme kwamba hiyo atoe amri?
Asante sana ndugu yangu kwa swali hilo zuri. Nishukuru pia kwa kufungua haswa hapa ufunguzi wangu. Hapa kuna Shems amesema Oburu said she grew together with Raila, played together, they were like twins, so when Raila died, Oburu died too. So
poleni.
ulikuwa hujaiona hiyo?
Ulikuwa nimeiona.
So hilo ndo jibu jepesi.
Kwa sababu yake siwezi comment, kwa sababu hatuwezi sema tu Oburu hana nguvu, kwa sababu yeye pia yeye
tunatia, mimi natia tu kama utashi fulani, lakini tunaelewa kwamba ni kiongozi pia kivyake, na tunazungumzia hasa katika ile hali ya seriousness ni kwamba nilitoa mfano siku zile kwamba watoto wawili wanapogombana, wewe mzazi lazima uwe makini, la sivyo unaweza egemea upande ambao sio upande ambao huo ndio uliofanya kosa, lakini kwa sababu mwangalia wingi wa machozi na maneno mengi mdomoni ambayo hata mengine ni ya maonevu, alafu yule mwingine ni mnyamazifu, yeye anaamini kwamba sijafanya na anakwamia hapo. Mwingine anazungumza huko, anapiga na kula, anaingia na huko, anaingia na huko. Mwisho wa siku usipotumia akili hapa kama mzazi, basi unaweza mpiga mwingine ambaye ukaacha yule ambaye amefanya hilo kosa na ukampiga yule ambaye hajafanya kosa. Nikatoa huo mfano hapa kwamba ni wakati sasa hivi wa kuhakikisha kwamba
pole kakangu,
kama chama ndio ulikuwa ni wakati wa mtihani wake wa kwanza ambao alikuwa anapimwa nao. Kwa hapa ndio ulikuwa nionyeshe makali yake haswa kwa kuweza kuleta haswa wote wale ambao wanatashwishi na waseme ODM misingi yake ni hii na tunabaki katika hii misingi. Lakini sasa ile kwamba ukiwa na hawa unasema kwamba sisi bado mpaka tuko na mkataba, ukirudi upande huu kwa sababu umetembelewa na kiongozi na hutaki kumwangusha machoni, unaambia sisi lazima tutaungana na huyu. So hiyo kaleta kidogo wasiwasi kwamba, lakini pia vile kutuliza hili joto haswa imeshindikana, na palipofikia ni Mungu asaidie tu kwamba ODM msije kazama tu, ama ikiama ni kuanguka basi vianguke kwenye mikono salama ya wale ambao wanaamini wingi
okay.
Ya wale wanaamini wingi wa wafuasi wao haswa nchi nzima dhidi ya hao ambao wanaamini uchache lakini wanaamini vyeo, kwamba wakiwa kwa serikali basi watu wao wako salama. So itakuwa sasa hiyo ni wachache ambao wanafaidi hapo. Lakini cha mwisho kabisa, unajua siku zote unapomfukuza mwendawazimu na nukuu maneno ya Kioni pale alipokuwa anahojiwa kwamba hapa tuna shida moja ambayo lazima tuiangalie. Yeye amesema hivi, nikimnukuu maneno yake, amesema hivi, mfano uko mtoni unaoga, alafu mwendawazimu aje akamate hizo nguo naende nazo. Sasa katika hali ya kufukuzana na mkuza wewe ukiwa uchi, sasa mtu akikuona pale mbele atasemaje? Nani kati ya yeye katika wewe na mwendawazimu, nani mwendawazimu? Wewe ambao unamkimbiza uchi, ama mwendawazimu mwenye amechukua nguo zako lakini yuko na nguo zake? Na sasa hapo ndani atakuwa mwendawazimu. So tuko katika hiyo situation kimtazamo wangu kwamba tunafukuzana na mtu ambaye ni mjanja zaidi. So haya mambo yamefanyika Jubilee, tuliyaona chama kitaka kumezwa huku na huku, kikasalimika akaswa katika mdomo wa mambo. Nao cha kuponyesha chama ni Oburu na wale ambao well wishers wanaamini wingi. Hawa wengine wakileta waanze na Juliet kuweza kumtema. Tetezi zake zimekuwa mingi zaidi, yale mambo mengi yametoka nje sasa hivi, yale yalifanyika usirini tumeyajua. Interviews nyingi tu zimefanywa na mambo mengi yamefungamana kwamba bwana alikuwa na tashwishi tangia hapo mwanzo. So waanze kutoa makali kwamba hapana, kama alifanya kwa Babu na Mwamba basi wafanye na huku, ili kusudi wanusuru chama, kutoe nayo makali yako. Lakini kama wataletwa pamoja na kukaa hapo, wao watatangaza misheni yao. Asante.
Asante sana. Nasalimia hapa ndugu yangu Paulo Kisyangas. Paulo anasema hivi, for leaders to reconcile, they have to sit together and agree on some issues. Oburu is only meeting the leaders one by one. That means he has no capacity to meet all the leaders together. Thank you. Na labda tu Paulo, nikuulize swali. Unaona hao maviongozi ambao labda wanakutana ama wanaitwa katika kikao ili wazungumze wapate solution, ni watu ambao wako na kauli zao wenyewe. Kuna wale ambao wanaamini kuwa wawezi shirikiana na serikali ya sasa na bali wako katika ndani ya ODM. Kuna wale ambao wanakubaliana kushirikiana na serikali. Akisikia hata venye wanaongea, jana nilisikia Mheshimiwa Eddie Mwoka akisema kwamba anaona kwamba ODM inaegemea sana sana kufanya kazi na serikali ya UDA Kenya Kwanza. Vile vile leo pia nilisikia Kasmuel kwa ajili ya maongezi yake ni vile vile inaelekea huko. Sasa hapa watu kikanao na wote washakuwa na kauli tofauti. Unadhani watafikiana ama itabidi chama imevunjika ili mtu achukue mkondo wake apende na watu wake ndio hiyo chama idumu, ama ndio kila mtu aangalie mambo ya siasa yake? So hiyo ndugu yetu Paulo atatujibu pale katika comment section. Miguda, wacha nikuje kwako, kwa sababu swala ambalo tunauliza ambapo tunasema kwamba ODM ni chama ambalo labda itasambaratika na ianguke, si tu kwa sababu inafaa, lakini kwa sababu watu ambao wamepatiwa nyadhifa za viongozi. Hiyo ni moja. Jambo la pili pia, tukiangalia historia, ukiangalia KANU ilikuwa ni chama ambacho ilikuwa na nguvu sana, lakini wakati Moi alitoka kwa siasa, ni kama chama cha KANU nguvu zake ama usawishi wa KANU ilipungua pakubwa sana. Angalia PNU pia vile pia. Nataka pia uniambie kwa wale ambao wanataka kuendeleza kukua katika chama cha ODM, unapata kwamba chama sana sana wenye ambao wanakuwa walikuwa ni kama wasugu ama yule mtu ambaye alikuwa amesimamia chama, wakitoka kwa siasa, vyama hivi vinakufa. Unapata kwamba watu wanaanza vyama vyao alafu zinakuwa inaenda vizuri. Kumbuka Raila alikuwa kwa Ford Kenya, ikashindikana, akaanza chama chake kipya, akaenda nao akatengeneza njia ya siasa yake. Unadhani itakuwa vyema ODM ivunjike ndio wale ambao wataanza safari yao ya kisiasa vizuri waanze na chama kipya ndio ili ikue chama ambacho watu watakuwa wanaipenda, ama washindane wakipigana hapa ODM?
Mimi niko na mtazamo tofauti.
Okay, sawa.
Na vile mimi natazama hiyo swali lako naipatia jicho nyingine. Nasema hivyo kwa sababu tumekuwepo, umependa mfano kwa KANU, lakini mimi ningependa kupenda tu mfano kwa ODM. Tangu tupate uhuru kama Wakenya, hatujawahi kuwepo na ODM. ODM imekuja hivi karibuni hapo miaka wa 2005. Sasa ODM kilikuwa ni kile chama kilikuwa na umaarufu kubwa sana wakati huo wa kupinga katiba, ya kwamba tukasema katiba no, hiyo chungwa na ndizi. Vile vile watu wakaipenda chungwa na ikakuwa chama, na vile vile wakafanya ile kampeni kali sana mwaka 2007 mpaka sasa hivi. Sasa mimi kwa maoni yangu nasema kile kitu ambacho kiko kizuri lazima mwishowe ikuwepo, kama tu safari ya binadamu. Unapozaliwa mwendo polepole mpaka mwishowe unakufa, yako unakwisha hivyo. Mimi ningependa kusema kwamba vile ODM ilizaliwa, ilipendezwa, watu walijiunga wengi, ikashika Kenya nzima. Vile vile hivyo wakati wake pia umeisha, na kama tu kila kitu duniani inaenda hivyo. Sasa ningependa kusema hivi, mwisho wa ODM si mwisho wa vyama. Juu unaweza pata wewe unaweza kuwa mwana ODM ama mkuwe na hiyo chama, lakini pengine mnapeleka tu wabunge watatu katika bungeni. Kwa mfano, chama cha Ford Kenya ni chama kilikuwa na umaarufu kubwa sana, lakini sasa hivi kibaki kile kiosk cha Moses Wetangula. Wetangula na anaitumia kama kiosk yake ya kubageni huko national politics. Vile vile ODM mwishowe tutakuwepo na yule mtatabaki naye, ya kwamba sasa ODM pengine apeleka wabunge 10 ama wabunge 15, amebaki tu ile eneo la Siaya County pekee. Pengine Kisumu amejiondoa, Migori amejiondoa, hivyo hivyo. Ama pengine kama unatoka Bondo kwao Raila, vile kama unatoka kwao Wetangula, lazima uende na Ford Kenya. Kama unatoka kwao huko Baringo, unapata kuna wakati hata Baringo hapa mwaka wa 2017, 2015, Gideon Moi amekuwa senator hapa na chama cha KANU, na wakati huo unapata Jubilee ilikuwa imeshika, na hata hiyo wakati huo URP ilishika huko Bonde la Ufa, but Gideon aliingia na KANU. Vile vile Jubilee ilishika huko Bonde la Ufa, Gideon akaingia na KANU. Sasa unapata lazima upate hata wakilishi, hata wakati kina mandugu zake wako pale Nakuru, waliingia bado na KANU tu bado, lakini mwishowe KANU inabaki tu chama cha watu chache fulani. Sasa hivyo ndio mimi naona nasema ODM kwangu haitakuwepo na maarufu vile imekuwepo nayo hapo awali. Most itakuwa chama cha watu 3, 4 hivyo hivyo kama vyama vingine. Hata sasa hivi Jubilee hawana wabunge wengi katika bunge vile walikuwa nao ile mwaka wa 2017. Hivyo ndivyo vitu zinakanga duniani. Mwisho mimi naona ya kwamba si lazima tukae katika ODM, ama si lazima ODM ibaki for eternity. Kwani niseme hivyo? Sisi ni nchi ya kidemokrasia, na si pia ni ile nchi huru ya vyama vingi, ya kwamba tuko na ile multi-party democracy, ya kwamba si lazima ati kila mtu akae katika UDA ama Jubilee. Hata leo hii tutaunda chama, na hiyo chama changu itakuwa na wafuasi na itakuwa cha. Sasa mimi naona hivi, mwisho kabisa naona ya kwamba hapa mbeleni si lazima ati kwe 2027. Unajua kuna watu wako na haraka, hata 2037, hata huko 2040, hata 2030 kutakuwepo na chama fulani kipya. Hata sasa tuko na DCP, wale marafiki zetu, mandugu zetu, mashemeji zetu wa eneo la kati saizi wako katika DCP, na DCP haikuwepo, na DCP kwa kusema kweli wataleta wabunge wengi katika bunge la kitaifa. Vile vile mimi naona hapa mbeleni kutakuwepo na chama kingine ama muungano mpya. Pengine hata hawa wachezaji wa saizi hawatakuwepo. Kalonzo atakuwepo, Rigiji atakuwepo, William atakuwepo. Pengine sasa kizazi kipya ni sisi tutakuwepo hapo, na tutaamua ya kwamba tuko na chama kipya, tuko na rangi kipya, tuko na mawazo kipya ambaye ina link ama ina connect na current generation. Sasa mimi naona vile ODM ilikuwa wakati huo, KANU ilikuwa wakati huo, wakati wa kina Jaramogi huko kulikuwa na KADU, KPU. Huwezi leta KPU mpaka 2005. Hii ODM hatuwezi sukuma mpaka wakati wetu. Sasa mimi nisema tu ODM huenda kwa samaratika, lakini mwishowe tutakuwa na kitu kipya ambaye si ODM.
Asante sana Miguda kwa hayo maoni. Labda nikaribishe ndugu yangu Joseph. Nataka kumuuliza tu Joseph, I just want you to look at this because like our main aim or the center of discussion was like how ODM is going to fall sooner than we think. Because if you look at the majority of ODM, or if you look at ODM, let's say that they have what you call wrangles within them, whereby they have two factions, they're those for president and those one, but they're not fighting on how to make their party strong, but they are fighting on how they are going to support the president and how they're not going to support the president. Even the 10-point agenda is something that has been forgotten. As that one is happening, yesterday you had Osotsi, he wrote that as this one is happening, UDA is working very hard to consolidate the bases that Raila Odinga had, especially in Western Kenya. Are these leaders seeing this, or they are so much occupied with the positions that they are going to get, and they've forgotten how they should consolidate their party, you know? So how is this one going to make it fall? Because which means they are going to lose members of support base from those areas that they've already controlled for ages. Joseph, kindly check on your internet and mic. You are breaking seriously. Breaking kabisa. Miguda, hilo ndio swali ambao nilikuwa najiuliza, because kwa sababu unapata kwamba hapa kuna ile mgawanyiko na kupigana ndani ya chama, lakini wamesahau vitu vingi wanachama hawa wa ODM. Ingawaje kuna watu, kila mtu ako na nia yake, ama kila mtu ako na fikra zake ambao wanasema si vyema, lakini hawaongelei. Sasa hakuna hata mtu ambaye anaongelea katika zile 10-point agenda ambapo zilikubaliana, ambapo makubaliano ilikuwepo. Unapata kwamba hayo limewekwa katika kaburi la sahau. Hey Joseph, are you back?
Can you hear me now?
Very clear.
Sorry, sometimes maybe it's because of the delay. I think it was, I had not checked. So I was answering and saying that some of the faction in the ODM, they're talking about how the party become great. I've been hearing Sifuna talking about how they want to make even the party in the grassroots be stronger. But you know, if others have been told that they need to ban this party and take it, you know, when you're told by the government you enter the government, Brother Benson, it means one thing: the party is going to be folded one way or the other, or it means that the party is going to be swallowed by other major parties in that coalition. And you have seen the likes of ANC and Ford Kenya. They were the predominant parties in Western somehow after ODM, but you can see they are falling one by one. ANC was first swallowed. Ford Kenya is now even having a hard time in Western politics. So if ODM wants to remain strong and be a party, you know, these guys, they forget that they are burning the bridge. Najua unaweza kuwa unadhania wewe unaendelesha mambo yako ya kuangusha chama, lakini hujui kwamba unachoma ile bridge na kusaidia kuvuka. Umeanza kuichoma. So most of these members, most of them, they are thinking of only right now. And I've heard Miguda saying that there is a long way to go. There is even 2030, and there is 2032, and there is 2037, and there is 2042, and there is 2047. But these guys, they are seeming like they want to burn the bridge. They want to take the party to the government. One thing that happens when you form a party and take it straight down to the government, which has been which is going for a second term, it's very easy that the party is going to be swallowed, and you are not going to be hearing about that party again. It will be done the way Jubilee was done. You remember TNA and URP were very strong, predominant parties at that time, but most of them after 2027 merge, because Uhuru knew that he's just some few times from leaving. That party now you cannot see Jubilee anywhere in having MPs. Yes, they have, but not the way they were. So this is what happens in politics. And if they want to do that to ODM, the people who are taking the party to the government, let them be prepared that it will be swallowed. And the legacy of Raila Odinga of leaving ODM intact and to be a party that is going to go even more than 20 years will not be seen. They would have messed up his legacy. So one of the key things that they need to do, I cannot come here and just complain and not give a certain solution for them. The only thing they can do is they take an NDC, they iron out their issues. If they're not going to be able to iron out their issues, they are supposed to take it to the people. And that is the same as the NDC, but now they're supposed to take it like the way Baba was doing. He was going for, they call it meet the people. They're supposed to go and meet the people and hear how the people are hearing their views and hear what they want. If not so, let them also go back to the doctrine of 10-point agenda. The 10-point agenda was set, and it was not discussing about 2027 elections. 10-point agenda was discussing about the issues that were gripping Kenya at that time, and they are the same issues that are gripping us till this time. We have never knew how are the people who are abducted they went. We have never, the economy is still suffering. The compensation has never been done. So we are still really out of the 10-point agenda, which has not been clearly sorted out. I think the only thing that they are trying to sort out is about referendum to bring their own prime minister in. That one is the only thing I've seen they want to pick up from the 10-point agenda. So if they want to be sincere with their hearts, they need to follow the 10-point agenda. So that now after they see the president has fully implemented the 10-point agenda, they can be able now to move to the next step and say, now we as a coalition, we as a party, we are seeing that it is befitting us because the 10-point agenda has already been implemented. It's befitting upon us now to be able to join the coalition, which is the government coalition side. And so that we can be able to forge, because we have seen the president has heeded to our call. So there is no need for us to continue arguing with the regime, because it has fully heard to what we have been saying. But as long as that the president has not heeded to the 10-point agenda, I think there is people who are lying to themselves. And there is something called you can sell your party, but after that, people will remember you as a person who your legacy will be remembered not as a person who helped in building the party, but a person who helped in demolishing the party. That one will be the legacy. And people, when they are talking about Raila Odinga and how he built the ODM, they will be still talking about the people who let it fall down. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Joseph. Sijui umepotelea wapi. Allow me to just say hi to everyone who is watching. I can see Paul Okis Yanga. I can see Judith. I can see Boaz Wawana, and can see Florence. I can also see quite a number of people who have joined us. I want to take this opportunity to just appreciate and appreciate the fact that you got time to join us this evening and that you are listening to us. We really appreciate so much. And Miguda, would you kindly just bring me, if you can hear me, Miguda? Miguda?
Just proceed and discuss the issue about ODM, the wrangles in ODM. You can
Would you
start
kindly
from
give
there.
us specific questions that you've tackled? I've just joined now. I've not been following
Okay,
anything
okay.
kindly.
Maybe if I can just, we have tackled that is Oburu Odinga has the capacity to bring order in ODM. That is one. So you can note it that one down. Number two, the wrangles between the two functions in ODM, can they be resolved amicably or not? And you can also gauge that what's the future for ODM, because it has been a popular party, just like KANU died. Is ODM going to die like KANU? So you can start with those three one as some doing something here. I'll get back to you.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to give my opinion on the current party leader of ODM, that is Dr. Buru Odinga, who is the brother to the late Raila Amolo Odinga. And I want to say that Oburu Odinga is not Raila Amolo Odinga. And one thing that is coming out is that Raila had, I've always mentioned here, some special traits, leadership traits that really helped him so much to bring forth the union amongst different people coming from different regions with different views, different thinking, different culture. He brought them together under ODM, and they would all listen to him. After his death, it is difficult for those people that were brought forth and united under the mantle of Raila Amolo Odinga today are not seeing it comfortable being in that particular party. And that is why we've seen quite a number of conflicts here and there, whether it is those supporting the broad-based, whether it is those saying it is broad-based is a non-issue to them. We've seen these kind of things, and all this simply gives a clarity or a clarification that the current party leader is not able to handle the problems that the party is facing, is not able to handle or to bring forth these leaders to sit down and discuss the issues at hand. And it also shows a high level of confusion that is there, starting from the party leader to other members. Because it is the party leader who is the head of that particular party who is supposed to give directions, and then that direction is then followed by the members. Something that is unfortunate that because we've not seen any clear clarification from the party leader that is then followed downwards. And I can say that Dr. Buri is finding it not easy. The people expected much of him, being that he was a close brother to Raila Amolo Odinga, and being that he was one of the advisors, the inner people who used to know what was really happening in ODM, and they would also assist Raila in making certain decisions. So of course the people really expect much from him, but apparently from what is coming out, it is not easy uniting people in that particular party. And I can say that it is upon him to try his level best to ensure that he bring forth people and they discuss the matters at hand, the matters that are currently affecting ODM. Because if they don't do so, ODM is not going to stand the storms that are currently on the way. The storms which are coming and the ones that are already there are not easy to handle. It is now upon the decision makers within that political party to make very critical and serious decisions which are going to assist, or which are going to help the party to move forward in a progressive manner. That is what I can say about Dr. Buru and his ability or capability to lead this particular political party called ODM. And something else that you What else did you ask? Whether ODM will... Miguda, if you can remind me about the other one. And Joseph, let me also take this opportunity to say hi to you. Thank you so much for joining. I found you when you were giving your views, and it seems you had some few problems. Joseph, if you can just remind me of other topics that you had discussed before I bring forth other topics that I want us to discuss.
Can you hear me? Yeah, we had some other topics we were discussing, amongst which we discussed about the schools and how the conversation that has been going through about how schools should be taking a certain number of people from their region they are coming. And we discussed further on that. And what else? I also came in when they had gone with the conversation a bit, but mostly it was ODM conversation. So after we delved into about the schools, because there's a post that Brother Benson has brought about how Boni Harwale has said that 30% should be the amount of people taken from a certain community into their schools, into their schools that are near their area. So as I hand it over to you, I'm going to answer Paulo and tell him that even though you can say that the meet the people tour was a scam, what I can clearly know is Raila was very democratic in the party, even though he had, nobody is always perfect, but he tried to be perfect as an example, and he tried to be more democratic in ODM than what we are seeing of the leaders which are nowadays. They want to take it by force. So Marco Bura, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. The issue of schools, I had people talking about it. I've not really looked seriously into it, but I can say that we are in a united country called the Republic of Kenya. We are in a country where the Constitution clarifies and says very well that whichever place you feel that you are comfortable, whether you are coming from whichever direction, so long as you're a Kenyan, you have a right to live, to go, to do whatever you want to do within the Republic of Kenya, because the Constitution respects and permits you to do so. I wouldn't really associate with people who are saying that certain regions has to be. I mean, after the schools have been built, then there's people from that region are the ones who are supposed to maintain being there. I personally don't agree with that, because if you look at the brightest people in the world, they never sat at their own places, home environments, and then they became that clever. You'll find that they interacted. Upon interaction, you get to learn quite a lot. You get to understand other people, their views, their religion, their thinking, their behavior, and that is how people get knowledgeable. If you get leaders who are saying that if you are coming from a certain region, then it is the people from that region who are supposed to go in that particular school, you'll never see or hear of clever people in the world. Remember, we are fighting something called tribalism. If you don't give a room to young people to interact with the different people coming from different regions, different culture, then you're not going to do away with tribalism. It is the unity and interactions that are brought by the institutions, higher learning institutions and also lower learning institutions, that are going to make the people, especially the young people, get to understand that as much as you are coming from a different culture, you are embraced, you are understood, and you also get to learn and appreciate the fact that there's a way other cultures do their own things, their way other people reason and see things, and that is how people get to learn. That is my take on that particular statement. And I would like to say education is the only thing that is the only key, let me use it that way, especially to people who are coming from poor background. It is only education that would make you interact with these people that you think are rich. If you see that majority of people are either wealthy or something, but then they don't have what is needed. You'll always find that upon getting that knowledge and interaction, you'll get to understand even how businesses, how people reason, and in one way or another, you get to learn on how to improve in your daily livings and daily plannings. And that is what life is all about. Any other thing that you talked about, Joseph? Or I get to my questions that I came with? Joseph, are you there? Okay, thank you so much, and allow me to also welcome Msimamo. Msimamo, asante sana kwa wakati wako, and karibu sana. This is Brother Benson Media. I don't know whether you are joining for the first time Msimamo ama ulikuwa umesha join kitambo.
Nilijoin alafu nikatoka tena nikaingia tena kwa mambo na simu alafu nimerudi tena.
Okay, sawa basi. So I've also just joined, and of course we are continuing the discussion that you had prior, and I would just like to hear your opinion on some few things. If you some few things here that I would also want to talk about. And before I do so, unaweza tuambia Costi kuko vipi?
Amani tuko nayo, amani ya Mungu tuko nayo, tumshukuru Mungu, kosi tuko salama kabisa. Hofu si yuko wako kaka hapo studio na wewe pia.
Sisi huku tuko salama, tunapambana vile na maisha hii ya kasongo tukiendelea. Yeah, so I would just like to get into.
Unajua haya ya kasongo huko tunasema ni kifo cha wengi huwa ni harusi. Kwa hivyo yanatusibu hata na sisi huku pia, si kwenu tu.
Kweli, I've been seeing, I don't know how the political class works, because most of the time they fail to do what is required of them. But whenever they come to the platforms, they have always continued lying, and the reception is also sometimes very difficult to tell, because you find that the same people who have been promised and nothing was done, they will be coming and celebrating and welcoming and doing all those sort of things. Deep down, they know very well that they were promised by a government that has the capability of doing so, but it has not delivered. Lakini wale wao ni kina nani? Wanamkaribisha, wanafanya mambo zote. Msimamo, hiyo inaonyesha ungwana ama ni nini hiyo?
Labda sijakupata vizuri, unajua ni kama nakupata unakatika. Sijaliunganisha vizuri hilo swali kaka, sio kama samahani, kama unaweza relegea tena tu ni kuombe ili nijenge hoja vizuri.
Nasema hivi, you find that the political class, they keep on promising and giving promises here and there. Lakini hawafanyi, na wale ambao wanaumia sana sana the youth, you'll find them sahi wanalia, hakuna kazi, hakuna nini. Na rais na politicians, the politicians will come and tell them that tumewapangia, tumewatengea. Alafu pia wanaambiwa that before or in 6 months time, 6 months inapita, 1 year inapita, 2 years inapita, politician akirudi bado tunamshangilia tu. What does that mean?
Ni hiyo ndio mapungufu ambayo ni lazima kama sisi ambao kiatu kinatufinya tuweze kujitambua kwanza. So kama unafuatilia kauli zangu, nilisema kwamba
kama na nchi tukitaka kufaulu haswa katika hii safari ya mageuzi, basi lazima tujitambue, kwa sababu wao wanatuweka katika hii hali, kwa sababu najua itakuwa ni rahisi kuweza kukimbilia punje zile. Kama mtamwagiwa punje, basi utakimbilia, kwa sababu njaa unayo, upate kujistiri angalau udone kidogo. So katika hiyo hali basi unajua ndo kwa mwingine ndo furaha. So hiyo ndio hali ambayo tumekuwa nayo katika hili taifa letu, unauziwa matumaini badala ya huduma. So unakuwa na matumaini kwamba hii serikali ya safari hii hakika kweli mambo yatakuwa mazuri, tukimpa muda tu mambo yatakuwa mazuri, kwa hii dalili ambayo tumeiona hii. So ndo pale mara nyingi wanapenda kuzungumza sana hapa kwamba tunaamini tonge la mkononi, na kama kile ilivyo kaka yangu hapa, tonge la mkononi halishibishi. Ni ile kwamba tunajistiri tu, lakini halishibishi kabisa. Unaoshibisha ile ule kwenye sahani ama kwenye sufuria ama kwenye mvule ule unapakuliwa, sasa unakaa mahali unakula unashiba. Lakini sasa mara nyingi tumekuwa tunatumiwa haya matonge ya mkononi kuweza kutuweka hali hiyo hiyo tu, yani kwanza tuamini mtu wetu, tuamini kiongozi huyu, tunatoka kwetu kwa maneno matamu na ya matumaini na tamaa, lakini mwisho wa siku hakuna chochote. So hiyo ndio hali ambayo ipo, yani uongo umekithiri katika siasa yetu, kwamba mpaka sasa hivi haina maana yoyote. Huwezi muamini mwanasiasa yoyote sasa hivi, inakuwa ngumu, unaona. So it's like yani imejengeka hiyo mentality tangia awali, lakini ilikuwa kuna ile kwamba kidogo, alafu mwananchi pia anaweza akarudiziwa hapa, akaonyeshwa hapa pia ameachiliwa kidogo, lakini sasa this time around amebaniwa kila pande. Kwa hivyo sasa uongo ndio umeonekana sasa peupe haswa, jinsi ambavyo na wanasiasa wako wameko relax, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku wao ndio wanaofaidi. Kwa hivyo hawana shida, but shida ina sisi kuweza kuwakubali haswa wanasiasa wao ambao wanatupa uongo, kisha baadaye tunawafuata kwa sababu tumeshewa chambo ama tumeuziwa matumaini. So lawama lingine pia ni sisi wananchi, pia tujilaumu kwamba pia nasi ni wepesi mno wa kushawishika badala ya kuuliza maswali. Asante.
Okay, asante sana. Hata ndugu yetu hapa anasema these leaders from northern Kenya, they just come to stay in Nairobi and they don't use money allocated to them to develop their regions. Labda hii ni mambo ambayo tumeona, it's not just from the northern Kenya. We've seen quite a number of leaders. They seek for election. Once they're elected, what then follows is that, they tend to forget where they've come from. And wengi wao wanaendelea hata kuishi within the towns, hawarudi hata manyumbani. And remember, when they're doing that, you find that there are some leaders who are doing perfectly good in their regions, and you expect these particular leaders, the citizens of the Republic of Kenya to get the same service. Bwana Msimamo, maoni yako ni yapi kwa hiyo maneno? Is it something that is a concern that needs to be talked about? Ama kwenyu mambo yako mazuri, representative wenyu kila siku wako nyumbani wanawasikiza, ama kuna wengine wamepotea wameenda Nairobi?
Kule kuwa kwa mtu karibu si kumaanisha ndio suluhu. Anaweza kuwa karibu lakini anakutumia vile vile. Anaweza kuwa karibu lakini sasa katika ukaribu wake ukiangalia kule juu ni kama pia naye katumwa. So kuna wale tunatangamana nao nao, kuna wale ambao kidogo wana deliver kidogo ili kusije wakashtukizwa, lakini kwa kweli hii shida iko kila mahali. Mambo si shwari. Ugumu ule ambao unapitia mwananchi wa Nyanza kule, mkulima wa Nyanza, ndio ugumu ule ambao unapitia mpwani huko. Sema tu shida sometimes zinazidiana kutoka na eneo lilivyo. lakini kiukweli haswa katika walmao wanaumia zaidi haswa ni sisi wa Kwale wa Kilifi, ndio ambao katika ipwani hakika kwamba ndio tunabeba mzigo huu, kwa sababu wengi wetu haswa hali haswa ni ngumu. Elimu wenyewe kwanza ndio iliingia juzi juzi, wengi hawakuwa wanathamini hii elimu, so it's like yani kila kitu ni mwanzo haswa. So kwa kweli katika hii situation hii, kwa kwamba elimu kidogo kwa wazazi wetu na wale wengi ambao hawapo, wengi wanashawishika wakiona kwamba hela ndio hii, ama huu bwana amekuja vizuri, tumekaa chini tumeongea vizuri, basi hao ndio wa kwanza kushawishika. Na hata umweleze kwamba huko siku atakwambia sasa miaka yote wewe wewe utakuwa unang'ang'ana, ni wakati wa kula. Hawa watu tukiwaacha wakirudi hatuoni tena. Yani hiyo tunakuta mwananchi wa kawaida na kwambia, sometimes napata hizo changamoto zaidi haswa nikiwa feel kwamba sasa ukimwacha mwanasiasa na amekuja nazo, si atarudi nazo tu, na mwisho wa siku wewe tamuonani tena miaka 5 kula. Lakini kwangu mimi hili la halinipi wasiwasi zaidi, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku mwananchi anajua ni wapi kwa kuchagua, maana tumekuwa hivyo na tumemchagua baba. Licha yote hayo ambayo anakaa sera kelele nini, lakini mwisho wa siku tunafanya the right thing, tunamchagua tumtakaye. Ni hapo mbele ndo ambao kunapo shida, hapo mbele hapo, kwa tume nzima haswa, uhakiki wake na uhalisia wake, mikakati ya system ambayo tutaitumia haswa kupambana na electronics, majibu hayo kupelekwa elektronikia, hiyo mambo hayo ambayo yanafungamana na uchaguzi. Sasa hapo mbele hapo, kwa sababu mwisho wa siku hapo ndo ambapo natakimini. Kwa hiyo tunaweza mchagua msimamo, kisha mwisho wa siku tukapata ni Benson ndiye ambaye yuko na, ukiuliza sio ambia katiba iko hapa na kuruhusu ukiwa na wasiwasi yale yametangazwa, kimbia mahakamani. Ukifika mahakamani ni hizi zetu ambazo tunazielewa zilivyo, so unakuta tumeregeshwa pale square one. So it's a matter kwamba wanasiasa wametutumia haswa vya kutosha. Kwa hivyo wakati sisi wenyewe tuamue ni kiongozi nani tukimkabili ama tukimsupport, kutokana na track record yake, huyu anaweza tusimamishia hili taifa, tukajipanga kidogo vizuri. So tukisimama katika hilo, hata kiongozi aje kuambia mimi niko kwa serikali, niko waziri, niko nini, utasema waziri ni wako, lakini tueleze waziri unao, umetutengenezea nini katika wizara yako? Ni mbunge ndio, uko kwa serikali ndio, umetutengenezea nini? So kama hakuna, ni patupu, ni maneno tu, dawa ni nje tu. Asante.
Asante sana. Naona ndugu yetu Asili hapa anasema, I'm yet to know any school in Kenya which was built by politician which takes students
Lakuna katika kaka kiasi kwamba yani maneno mengine alafu ananipita, ndio maana sometimes sisimami straight kwenye swali, kwa sababu kingine ni kama anabahatisha tu. Sio kuna nini leo?
I think it's on your side. Nadhani ni side yako. Maybe you can log out and then come back immediately. Because I was here with Joseph, they were saying it's okay. Miguda was also saying it's okay.
Ama nitoke kidogo alafu nirudi kidogo, mimi kingine ni upande wangu.
Yes, inaweza kuwa pande yako. Or the people who are watching us can also confirm to us at the comment section whether I'm breaking or I'm okay. Allow me to read this comment from Asili saying, I'm yet to know any school in Kenya which was built by politicians which takes students from other regions. Okay. None of the schools mentioned by Gachagua was built by leaders. And he's also saying that when the colonialists built Alliance, which school was built in Mandera? Okay. Those are some of the comments that you're getting from our friends who are watching us, and from the Facebook side. And I want to take this opportunity to just appreciate them and to say a big thank you. And if you are watching, kindly just like and also subscribe if you've not subscribed. Just like, it is a way of supporting us, na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante na tutashukuru sana. Hata ningoje ndugu yetu hapa akuja atupe maoni yake kwa haya maneno ambayo tunayazungumzia sasa hivi. I want to remind you that over here we do have this kind of conversations, of course, political conversations, which are all geared towards the betterment of our country. And, more of what we talk about here are normal things which we do encounter on our day-to-day basis activities. And again, we're just calling out bad leaders or leaders who have forgotten their role. Remember, when a leader is elected or given a chance, there are expectations from the people, and those expectations has to be met. Whenever they are not met, as a people, the constitution is very clear. You can remind your leaders so that they wake up. But apparently of late, we've had instances where our leaders have neglected, forgotten, and are, some of them, not even interested in listening to the citizens. And that is part of the things that we are calling out, because whenever we don't listen to each other, whenever we don't give each other time, then what will then happen, or what will come to be is we'll see serious repercussions, negative repercussions, which are not, which I mean we should look into. And that is why we do have these conversations, so that we can just talk about the real issues and possibly give the right counsel or the right advice to our leaders. Yes, they have they have their mandates, but sometimes they do, or they tend to forget. So our work as a people is to remind them, and if they listen to us, we will avoid so many things like going to demonstrations, because people do go for demonstrations, especially when they are not listened to. A good friend Paul is saying those leaders, Farah Malim and his colleagues, should move from Isli and go back to village and build schools. When I was growing, I used to admire Farah Malim. But then when I now grew up, and now I started understanding what politics is all about, then I realized that Farah Malim is not a good leader. He's not a good leader based on the many instances that he's had opportunities to have a conversation with the people, especially the young people, but the utterances that has come from him are not really utterances which are unifying the people. They are not consoling. And remember, some of these utterances that have always come from him have come at a time when the people of Kenya are either mourning. You remember the time that the Gen Zs were killed, quite a number of them. When he had the opportunity, instead of consoling them, he started speaking badly. And this is not the first time. He even said that if he was the president or had the capability, he would shoot people. And remember, that is something coming from a mouth of a leader who has been elected more than once, a leader who has served, a leader who is, is getting aged. Instead of giving right counsels, advices to the young people, what he does is coming out to speak or to give utterances which are not really right. And for that reason, Farah Malim should not be mentioned whenever leaders of high standards are being mentioned. And I don't think that there is anything to expect from a leader who speaks in that manner. If you see leaders speaking in that manner, there's nothing they can deliver. You cannot see or expect anything positive from those particular leaders, because they see citizens as their subjects. They see them as people who do not deserve being there. They see them as people who should not speak whenever they're making bad decisions. Some of them are forgetting that these citizens, some of them are leaders as well, and they are doing well in their capacities in the places that they are being places that they've been given opportunity to serve. So the leadership that we have has to be a leadership that listens. It has to be a leadership that consults. It has to be a leadership that is always there to listen to the people, because that is the sole purpose of representation. You cannot represent a group of people that you do not understand their views, you do not understand their culture, you do not understand their thinking, you do not understand their wishes, you do not understand what is, the things that are pressing them. So the first important thing about leadership, in my own view, is first listening to the people that you are governing, or you are you are representing. Yeah, so that would be my view on that particular statement. And Paulo Asili here is saying that which school has Gachagua built? Gachagua went to UN, which is not in Nyeri. Tell me, does Nyeri have a university? And I did mention, as Asili, if you are here, and I said very well that the most learned people, you will realize that whatever made them that successful, whatever made them that knowledgeable, was part of it was exposure. Exposure is, of course, entails quite a lot. Getting to hear from others, getting to learn from others, getting to to give them a chance to also do their own things, and then learning from that. I did mention that we are fighting tribalism in the Republic of Kenya. The biggest tool that is assisting the people of Kenya to bridge the gap that is there, that has been brought up by tribalism, are the institutions, public learning institutions, and also private learning institutions, because that is the only way that you'll find that a Kenyan from the northeastern, a Kenyan from the southern eastern, a Kenyan from the northeastern, and all those kind of regions are coming together. And when they come together, they get to understand each other, they get to appreciate each other, they get to, appreciate that they've been brought up differently. They get to appreciate that they're coming from different cultures. And that is how people get to learn. That is how people get to become knowledgeable. This mentality of leaders making certain remarks which are not helpful to the people of Kenya, is something that, the people of Kenya has to come out and condemn. Yeah, that is my take on that. Something else that I also wanted to give my view on is the president's year of transformation, where he's been saying that 2026 is a year of transformation, and he's saying that he'll focus on stabilizing the Kenyan shillings, which is not a bad thing. It is a good thing. Lowering the fuel cost, not a bad thing, good thing, and attracting private investments. But again, the infrastructure projects and the youth empowerment programs are also expanding according to his statements. And if it is true, unfortunately, we've never seen an implementation done by this government to its perfection. Up to now, we can still say that these are promises. So ours is maybe to wait and see whether the promises would be executed or not. If they are not, life continues. We will continue crying, but we will not stop criticizing, we will not stop calling them out. Because this republic, of course, the Kenyan shillings has been getting slightly weaker of late, something that is of a concern. It is upon this government to do what is positive, that is going to positively impact on the economy, and therefore increasing the value of the Kenyan shillings. It has been depreciating, of course, in almost all the countries. Lowering the cost of fuel, which is also a serious pain that Kenyans are going through or facing, should also be looked into. The prices of fuel in Kenya is too high, despite the fact that Kenya oil and fuel lands at the Kenyan cost. So it is something that really needs to be looked into. It has to be reduced. If it is reduced, it gives the opportunity for businesses to expand and for also reduces the cost of operation. Very important. Private investment is also important for the growth of the economy because the government institutions and businesses have failed. Some of them have been sold. Some of them have gone bankrupt. It is right for this government to look for private investors which are going to assist in, making the economy of waking up the economy of the Republic of Kenya. Yeah, something else that I also wanted to talk about is the threat to democracy, where the former Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria warned that political goons poses the biggest risk to democracy, potentially drawing ICC scrutiny. I want to say that it is not right. Whenever politicians disagree, one thing that I've noted is that they've been using goons to either seek sympathy or to either destroy their opponents. It is not the solution. That kind of politics is eroding the good values in the Republic of Kenya. It is eroding the good values amongst our youths. Because when you see a politician calling young people and giving them money to go protect them or to go do such kind of things, these people will get into those activities, and that is how we will be making or entertaining thieves in the Republic of Kenya. It is not right. Whenever politicians are fighting, let them fight. The issue of dragging young youths to go and destroy or to do things which are not right, it is not right. It has to be stopped. Whether it is the government side, whether it is the opposition side, the people of Kenya are not happy about it. We've been seeing that. We saw that during the times of Raila, when they used to send goons to him. And if you remember, Sonko one time confessed that they would even buy vehicles and then, put them on fire and then claim that it was ODM that had done it. And, the people who are doing so are also branded like ODM. So, these are not right things. We are in a 21st century, a century that has majority of learned people, and the political class has to behave and do as per the learned people do. We've seen a consistency where even governors are protecting themselves with the goons. We've seen, quite a lot, even at the presidential level. It is a shame. Kenya has matured democratically. Let the democracy and the institutions do their work. Let people love and care and protect one another. Something else that I want to speak about is shifting alliances, where leaders like Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, and Oburu Odinga are forming a new coalition ahead of 2027. We are yet to confirm for the ODM because ODM is one of the most confused political parties at this particular moment, because there's nothing really that is known that is known that will help them. But again, we know that there is opposition side. We're waiting to see how powerful they are or how serious they are in taking this country to the next level. We will get to hear from them whether they have what is positive and whether they are serious. Something else that I wanted to give my view is the youth activism. With over 70% of Kenyans under 35 years old, youth movement are demanding accountability and, of course, inclusion. Today, if you watched where the president was in, I think it was in Nakuru, a disabled man, young man who is also still a youth, stood up and said to him that he has to do away with corruption and he has to ensure that education is free. That is the only thing that will assist the people, the young people of the Republic of Kenya. And I also agree with that. It is the way to go. We are seeing also public concern where despite the economic stabilization, jobs and cost of living remain top issue for the citizens. The people of Kenya are spending a lot. The economy is not favorable for the young people and for the entire people of Kenya. And that is why the people of Kenya are calling upon the leadership to get serious and do what is serious, do away with corruption, and ensure that the most essential basic needs can be afforded and can be gotten easily. Yes, that would be my take. And I want to take this opportunity to once again appreciate everyone who joined us and to remind you that this is Brother Benson Media. Kindly like and subscribe to this channel. If you do so, it is a way of supporting us na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. We really appreciate. And now I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us. We really appreciate your presence. May God bless you and see you again tomorrow.